Hello, this is Lara from Create Access. In this video, you will learn how to create 3D geospatial presentations that highlight events or stories in a geospatial context. Cesium Stories is a free 3D geospatial software program that runs on a web browser. The presentations you will create with stories are just like slideshows, except each slide is geolocated on a digital 3D globe. You can add text, images, and even 3D models to customize your story. Once you share your story, the audience will be able to interact with the digital globe to see the real-world terrain as they go through your slides. Head to cesium.com, where you can learn more about Cesium and access their news and tutorials. You will need a Cesium Ion account to use Cesium Stories and other 3D geospatial content. Click the Sign Up Free button at the top right corner. In the new window, sign up for a new Cesium Ion account or log in with an existing one. On your account page, navigate to the Stories tab and click on New Story. A new page will open up with an empty story project, and you will see the 3D Earth in the center of your screen, the viewport. Before getting started, you can change the title of your story using the name box at the top of the screen. To navigate in the viewport, use the left mouse button to rotate the globe. Scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and hold down the Control key on your keyboard and click with the left mouse button to angle the camera. The leftmost panel on the screen is the Slides panel. Each slide can be set up to focus on a different location or an angle on the 3D globe. The first slide will be created for you. However, its location is only set to show the entire globe. To start your story, select a location on the globe that you would like to highlight. You can find this location by exploring the Earth with your mouse, or by typing an address or landmark in the search bar at the top right corner of the viewport. After you enter a location, the viewport will automatically zoom to the location you have picked. Adjust the camera of your viewport to the exact location and angle you want, and click the Capture View button at the top left corner of the viewport. This will lock in the location and angle of your camera for that slide. The terrain setting on the left panel controls how the terrain of Earth appears in your slides. The default option, Cesium World Terrain, provides accurate global elevation data. This option is likely the best if you would like to display realistic landscapes or measure height differences around the globe. Cesium World Terrain overlays satellite imagery on the terrain, so you will be able to see roads, buildings, trees, etc., but these parts will not be separated from the ground as individual 3D models. Asset Settings on the left panel lists all the 3D models, maps, or geolocated data that is used in your story. By default, Cesium OSM Buildings asset will be enabled, and you should see simplified shapes of gray buildings on your terrain. You have the option to change the terrain of your story and add more detailed and realistic-looking buildings. From the Terrain drop-down, select Google Photorealistic 3D Tiles option. Especially for city scenes, this option can bring your story to life with higher textured buildings. Once Google Photorealistic 3D Tiles is enabled, make sure to uncheck Cesium OSM Buildings so you don't get overlapping buildings in your story. The terrain option you select will apply on a slide-by-slide basis. You can use Google Realistic 3D Tiles for one slide and Cesium World Terrain for another. However, keep in mind that this will lead to extra loading time when switching between the slides. You can add more slides to your story with the New Slide button at the Slides panel. When you have different location sets for each slide, Stories will automatically create a smooth transition between the slides and move the camera. After creating a slide and capturing the view, you can add text and images to accompany any slide in your story. Find the info box settings on the left panel. Start by adding a title to your slide and a short text information to the info box. The info box works just like any text editor. Using the text editor options, you can change the size of your text, Make it bold or italic, or create a bulleted list. You can also add images and links to the info box and customize it to best represent each slide of your story. The Annotations tool on the left panel allows the user to highlight specific points, areas, or lines on each slide of the story. All annotation tools work in a similar fashion. Select the tool you need based on what you would like to highlight on your slide. Follow the instructions on screen to set up your annotation. To annotate a point, click a point on the map and adjust the type and color of the marker. To annotate a line, click on two different locations on the map to draw a line between them. And to annotate an area, click on multiple points on the map to highlight an area in any shape you would like. You can name your annotation and turn on the Show Name in View option based on your preference. When done, click Save, and you should see your annotation appear over the 3D terrain. To customize your story even further, you can import 3D models to appear in your slides. Sketchfab is an online platform where the community can share, publish, and discover 3D content. You can link your Sketchfab account to Cesium Ion to easily pick and import 3D assets. Head back to the main page of your Cesium Ion account by clicking the logo at the top left corner. From the top panel, open My Assets tab. Here, you can find the list of all the assets you add to or create with your Cesium Ion account. Click on Add Data from the top left corner. On the new page, you will notice multiple options for adding data to Cesium Ion. Select the Add from Sketchfab button. If this is the first time you're opening Sketchfab through Ion, you will be asked to log in and link your accounts. Go through the prompts on screen to log in or create a new Sketchfab account. Once the accounts are linked, you will be able to browse and import Sketchfab assets within Cesium Ion. Keep in mind that the assets on Sketchfab are created by different artists in the community, and not all of them may be optimized to be used in stories. If a 3D model you select doesn't work in your story, or doesn't look the way you expect, you can come back to this page and look for more models. You can use the search bar on this page to search for certain assets or artists. If you search for Create Access, you can find different 3D assets created by our community and shared freely to be used in your story. Once you find a 3D model you would like to use, click on it to get a closer look. Select Import from the bottom right corner of the window. In the new Add Data window, change the asset name if desired, and set the drop-down for What kind of data is this? To 3D Model, Tile as 3D Tiles. Then select Upload. The 3D asset you've picked will be added to your Cesium Ion asset library. Once the asset is added to your library, you can head back to your story to add the 3D model over your terrain. Under the Asset settings on the left, find the Add Asset button. Search through the list and find the 3D model you want to add. After selecting the asset, click Add. The asset you added will appear under the Assets panel. However, you won't be able to see the 3D model on your map until you set its location. Click the Adjust Tile Set Location setting under your imported asset. Use the search bar to add an address where you want your asset to appear, or alternatively, you can use the Click Position button to click on the terrain and place your asset. Keep in mind that currently, Click Position button only works with the Cesium World Terrain option. However, once your asset's location is set, you can always go back to the other terrain options. Once your asset is located, use the arrows that appear on your asset to move it to a more precise location. Keep in mind that sometimes your asset might be under the terrain. Use the blue arrow to move it vertically higher. You can also use the different sliders on the left panel to change the rotation of your model. Use the scale to scale your model as you wish. Once done, click Save to lock in the position of your 3D model on the terrain. Once your story is complete, you can open it in presentation mode by clicking the Present button at the top. You can also share your story with others via web link. Click on Share and on the new window, toggle on Enable Sharing. Now you can copy the shareable link of your story and share it with others. The viewers will be able to easily access and go through your story without needing a Cesium Ion account. With the skills you've learned in this lesson, you can create stories that highlight a personal story, share data, or bring attention to issues in geographic context. You can customize each experience the way you need with the tools provided within Cesium Stories. Have fun creating, and thanks for watching.